Monday, the Recording Industry Association of America won the latest round in its battle against Napster.
It's time for Napster to stand down and build their business the old-fashioned way. They must seek permission first.
There are now people in their mid to getting on to advanced teens who have never known, obviously, a world without the web. In fact, there may be 20-year-olds who've never known anything but that. Have they developed strange thumbs? Do they have peculiar ways of talking and listening? Do their eyes glaze over when they have to concentrate for more than 30 seconds? No, I don't believe any of that. I'm not particularly negative or pessimistic about the social qualities, the linguistic qualities, the concentration qualities of Generation Web, as they're called. I honestly believe that if you were to go back into the 1920s and take an ordinary, semi-educated 15-year-old and place him next to an ordinary, semi-educated 15-year-old now, you would find the one now knows more, understands more, is more socially confident, is more aware of the rest of the world, is more able and more adept at research, may not be able to say their 9 times table as fluently or repeat amo, amasamata, mamasamati, amant. They may not be able to do that. Is that such a great loss to an old-fashioned person like me? I'd love to think people could do both, but let's get real about this. Connection is what humans crave.
Technology is advancing. This is going to happen anyway.
You have a generation of people now who expect their music for free.
Don't care how wrong it is, I've got good intentions.
It's very difficult to change.
Initially, I was skeptical that, gosh, I'm sitting across from 2 18 or 19-year-olds. I changed my tune once I learned that there are already 40,000 people using this thing.
It was one of the first large-scale peer-to-peer file-sharing programs. It allowed users to access music files stored on the hard drives of fellow Napster users.
40,000 wasn't a big number, but it was bigger than what I thought it was going to be initially, which was 0, because people weren't willing to open up their hard drives. What I realized was that people's emotional ties to music, their general interest in music, was more than enough to overwhelm any kind of security or privacy concern.
And in the 90s, consumers' emotional ties to music equaled big money. No one batted an eye when Puff Daddy's record label made 2 music videos featuring elaborate helicopter chases in consecutive years.
The CD boom was from '84 to 2000. You actually had to drive your car to the Tower Records and buy a CD for $18 to get the one song you liked. And so that was a good model. It made the industry tons and tons of cash.
Selling millions of Chumbawamba albums with one good song was an economic boom.
That was pretty much the end of that era, because very soon afterwards, Napster really took hold in the public's consciousness, and the consumer realized that they could get the music that they wanted to hear for free.
It was on college campuses with high-speed internet that Napster really took off in the fall of '99.
So how many MP3s do you have on your computer? About 600.
Maybe like 100 or something.
6,000 or 7,000.
Napster.
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 It's called file sharing, seen by some as the wave of the future.
It was very exciting. We knew we were building something that was going to be big.
Ladies and gentlemen, creator of Napster, Sean Fanning.
When I first heard about Napster, I recall my impression having 2 different elements. One being, this is incredible, it's revolutionary, and things will never be the same again in the music industry. And the other being, this is going to destroy the recording industry.
Listen, I step out my yard with a new flow. Skinny jeans on and my hat's low. Happiness fam, that's the new crow. A clock BNP, no.
It was amazing, actually. We were holding your CD before and I couldn't figure out
I'd forgotten how to open a CD case.
Yeah,
like that really freaked me out. This idea of like a jewel
Crazy.
case. That's something physical.
But at the same time, it's nice to have a CD. It's nice to have something physical in your hand, you know, with a sleeve and lyrics. Because in my album, I make sure to put the lyrics in there. So again, if you do go out of your way to spend the extra money into a CD and the extra time and effort, I want to make an effort back. So I put all the lyrics in there and some wicked pictures. And also with the CD, you get a bonus track, which you may not be able to get online, and loads of stuff like that. And also, I went down and signed a lot of CDs at a lot of the record stores. And I think that there should be a way of, you know, making something more physical, more, you know, tangible for a person to be able to hold. But until then, I think people just don't have the time, and life's moving so quickly that to actually come out of their busy schedule to go to a record store, spend money on a CD, then have to find a CD player to play it on. It does work out a bit longer, whereas iTunes, it's all online, it's download, listen straight away, whereas HMV, bus home, bedroom, electricity on, put it in, press play, then you're listening. And then say you randomly want to listen to it again, you can't. It's hard, man, but I do like CDs because it's nice to have that physical product, but at the same time, I understand that it is a bit time-consuming.
Keep walking, 'cause I got a girl at home waiting for me. And if I do look now, will I ever?
Well, it's also a different craft, like in terms of how you produce it. But that's a whole different conversation.
Yeah, definitely.
The CDs, right? You're talking about signing it, and you know, you're talking about adding a little bit of presence. You're talking about adding that little bit of rarity that people wouldn't get if they download MP3s.
Yeah, definitely.
So, what other ways? Because there's so much plenty that's available. I mean, not only is it, well, I'll go into that in a second. There's so much plenty when it comes to online content, when it comes to downloading movies or MP3s or whatever, that people aren't really making as much money, are they?
No, definitely not.
So, like, is a CD, like actually having a physical thing, still a way? Are we going to move back to that as a way of getting cash flowing through the music industry?
I hope there is a way to, you know, go back into having something physical that people also want to buy alongside downloads. I don't think downloading should be abolished, or people should be punished for downloading music, because I think that it's played a big part within the media and within music, and without it, I think a lot of the positive things that have come out of music in the last, 10, 20 years would have never have come about. And, you wouldn't be able to watch award ceremonies on TV, you wouldn't be able to find out information on your latest artist within 5 minutes, and you wouldn't be able to really, buy gigs and hotels for every single show of an artist that you like and stuff like that.
Waiting for me.
And so, months after Napster's rise, the recording industry began a long legal battle to stop it.
They're waging a war in the courts over who controls what artists create.
We've heard that we couldn't survive before, when we had 700,000 members, and when we had 17 million members.
We felt pretty strongly that digital distribution was going to bring the industry closer to its customer, and instead of killing it, they would take advantage of the value that it brought.
But to record companies whose artists range from Tony Bennett to Metallica, this new technology in the wrong hands is simply stealing.
Business model built on infringement is not only morally wrong, but legally wrong.
At the time, the Recording Industry Association of America was reporting about $15 billion a year of revenue in the U.S. alone.
Anybody with enough money could go and make a record. But that didn't guarantee you getting into stores, which was the only place that you could actually buy that record. That was the power of the music business, the distribution.
And on today's episode, we are going to be talking about digital distribution, which is something that a lot of people know certain things about, but...
Well, they know it exists.
They know it exists. But I feel like a lot of people are still in the dark about it.
So now let me give you some context. You guys know what DistroKid is. If you do, great. If you don't, I'll explain briefly.
It's the service I use to get my music heard on the internet. It puts your music on multiple retailers while minimizing the hassle. They get your songs up on the majors like iTunes, Amazon, Google Play, and Spotify, sometimes within hours even, plus over 150 smaller online music retailers as well. Now, what's really cool is that if you're doing cover songs, they can also get you a license, so you don't have to worry about all the legal ramifications, and you can just concentrate on making music.
Hi, Queen here. I personally love when things are made easy, and that's what DistroKid has done for music distribution. Just sign up, put your information in, and begin uploading all of your original content for everyone to purchase or listen to at their own pleasure. I signed up within a matter of minutes. Upload as much as you want. Turn a strenuous process into an easy process.
DistroKid only costs $20 a year, and you keep 100% of your earnings.
Which streaming service is music to your ears? We're comparing two of the biggest names to see which one comes out on top.
This is Apple Music versus Spotify.
If you're listening on mobile, both services work on Android and iOS.
Spotify has a free ad-supported tier, but for most albums and playlists, you'll have to listen on shuffle. You only get 6 skips per hour and no access to the radio stations. Apple Music only offers streaming for Beats One Radio for free, or you can listen to songs in your iTunes library.
Both cost $10 a month, $5 for students, or $15 for family plans in the US.
And if you're a paid subscriber, both let you save and listen to songs offline. Each streaming service has a big catalog, though Apple Music has 45 million songs versus Spotify's 35 million.
You don't always have to listen through the app. The Spotify web interface lets you stream from a browser, while Apple Music has a web widget. While it's not technically a full player, you can still stream from a browser from tools.applemusic.com.
Now you are promoting yourself, you're marketing yourself.
Yeah.
How has the internet made that possible in a way that you wouldn't have done before?
I think that is what the internet is. What made it possible. I'm able to reach loads of people at one specific time quickly at the drop of a hat. Whereas if not, I'd have to do it, promoting word of mouth, phone calls and stuff like that. Whereas I can just put out a message and send it to about 400 to 4,000 people in like that.
So how many MP3s do you have on your computer? About 600.
Maybe like 100 or something.
6,000 or 7,000.
Though Apple Music has 45 million songs versus Spotify's 35 million.
While a lot of cultural trash has been created in the internet age, one of the great things about the internet age is that you don't need to rely on one certain media outlet or a handful of certain media outlets to get your music, get your news, get your anything. You can turn off these pieces of cultural trash if you so choose. These days, you don't hear One Direction unless you're fucking looking for some One Direction. And I don't know, if someone wants to hear that, I wouldn't begrudge them some One Direction. Let's go.